Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I have another product from Vankyo. If you've watched the channel enough, you'll know that Vankyo has been featured on here many times, and there's really two reasons for that. One is that they're kind of fun to work with, and two, the stuff that they make I find is generally well priced and, more importantly, really easy to understand how to use. And I think that's something that's often overlooked in the technology market is you can make a fantastic product, but if your consumer doesn't actually understand how to use it or doesn't have a lot of previous experience, that can be a stumbling block for many people. And generally speaking, Vankyo has had some very good instruction manuals inside their packaging that have made things like this easier to recommend than others that either have very poor or no documentation whatsoever. It is worth pointing out that they did send this to me. I did not purchase it. However, I am not being paid for my opinion either. So without further ado, let's go ahead and quickly talk about some of the main features behind this unit as we unbox it. So the first thing is it does sport CVC 8.0 noise cancellation technology, which does help with call quality and microphone use. The other thing is that it is using Bluetooth 5.0, so you're going to have good strong connections as well as pretty decent battery life. On the inside here, we do have the case, which is not super small, but it's not super big either. So the case itself is definitely made out of a fingerprint magnet plastic, but that, isn't the end of the world. We do have the headphones inside, and we will take a look at those in just a second. We do want to double check the box to make sure there isn't any goodies in here that we would be missing out on. So inside here, we have some different size silicone tips. We have our USB Type-C charging cable, a little bit of an information card to contact them if you're having trouble. And then this is the part that I kind of nerdishly look forward to, and that is the documentation. I think this is one thing that Vankyo does pretty well. So it talks about wearing the earbud, how it can fit in your ear, replacing the tips, small, medium, large, as well as pairing the earbud. So that's great. And then our instruction manual has lots of pictures. Things are pretty easily labeled. You've got images on how to connect the earbuds, how to wear them, how to power them off, how to reset them, troubleshooting guide at the back. All right, so I have my Pixel 4a set up. We're going to open the case here, and we're going to tell it to look for some new devices. We need to remove these little tabs so they actually detect the earbud first. There we go. All right, so it looks like these are set up and ready to go. So there's nothing else to do now than to spend a little time using these over the next few days, and then when we cut back to this video, I'll be able to speak more authoritatively on how they sound and how they work. So I'll be back in a little while. Okay, I already kind of like doing that. Okay, so I have been using the Alpha X150s for a week now, and I feel pretty confident in drawing a few conclusions on these. So let's talk about the sound on these. Bassy, very, very bassy. So if you enjoy bass in your music and in your listening experience, for their size, they definitely pack a punch greater than anything else that I've tested on this channel so far. And that does come with a trade-off, because after about 70% volume, I noticed that vocals were a little bit drowned out, and some of the more sharper notes, like cymbals on drums, tended to be a little bit on the tinnier side. So in my experience, that 70% volume is pretty much the maximum listening volume that you're going to get without a drop-off in quality. The fit is really nice. I didn't have any issues with these backing out of my ear, and they're also pretty lightweight. Now, one thing that I will point out on the tap controls, and this is not something unique to Vankyo, and I do want to get that right out in front, and that is the difference between a double touch to pause and play and a triple touch to go to the next track. I have not found very many headsets that have set that up where it works consistently well, and this is another one of those instances where if you go to do a triple tap and it only registers 2 of those taps, it's going to pause your music, and then you're waiting for that couple of seconds to see if the next track starts to play, and then you check your device and then you realize that, in fact, that it's actually paused the music rather than moving to the next track. A common complaint that I have with a variety of different manufacturers, it's not unique to Vankyo, but it is something that I think that's worth pointing out in the user experience. I'll also mention that you are not adjusting the volume from the headset. You will need to do that on your device. All in all, what are my overall impressions of these? I think that it is pretty decent value for money. I can honestly say that they're not my favorite set that I've tried ever, but that being said, they're not bad either. I think that if you, again, really appreciate bass, then these would be of interest to you to try out and see if they meet your needs. But again, I found that about 70% volume and above, things started to get a little bit on the washed out side. At any rate, if you do have any questions about these, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I shall do my best to answer them. And I will encourage you to do the big 4. If you enjoy this sort of content, please like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so the next time I feature a piece of audio equipment or something else from this company, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Oh yeah, they are IPX8 rated. So let's see if that's true. All right, so it turns out they are waterproof.